Hey guys, Happy New Year! Welcome to my channel. My name is Radina and today I'm going to be talking to you about 2020, how it was the best year of my life. I'm going to walk you through my highlights and why I think this was the best year of my life, how it unfolded to be the best year of my life, and I will take you through my journey on the travel that I was able to do, which was a dream come true for me on my birthday. I will also take you through my other dream that came true, that was to work remotely. I will also talk about how I dealt with anxiety, because I had a history of dealing with anxiety and how I dealt with it during the pandemic, how the pandemic actually helped me to find a new hobby, and I will also mention the difficulties that I had throughout the year, but nevertheless it was the best year for me. And just because I had all these difficulties, that didn't offset all of the positive things that happened to me and life-changing things that happened to me. So if you're interested in taking a snapshot of my journey, keep watching. Today I'm going to be talking to you about 2020 and why I think it was the best year of my life so far. And I hope I will be able to give you a different perspective and maybe make you think about all the good things and highlights that have happened to you in 2020. So yeah, let's get started. So when 2020 happened, no one of us was really expecting or imagining how this is going to be one of the most historical years up to date so far. My year started off just like everyone else's. I had a really festive New Year's Eve and great dinner, great people. This is when the year started to unfold into what I think was the best year of my life. As my birthday is in February, I always like to celebrate, and I always try to make something different. And for some years now, I always had the desire to travel to Israel, and why not even on my birthday? So I was thinking about that in December 2019, but there was no one to go with, and I had tried to convince so many people. On New Year's Eve, I was sharing with a friend, oh, you know what, I really want to go to Israel, and yeah, there's no one to go with. And she was like, oh, you know, I know this person that really wants to go, why don't you go with her? And yeah, that was actually one of my colleagues, and I knew her, and I got in touch with her. To my surprise, she agreed to go. There we were, making plans, booking tickets. As soon as I realized, I was already traveling to Israel, and the best part was that I was there on my birthday. So you all know 2020 was very hard on travel, restrictions and all of that. But thank God I was able to make the best out of it and really have a transforming, life-changing experience once I traveled to Israel. It's really hard to sum up all the good things about Israel. The food, the places, just being in such a historical place, so rich in culture. But I really loved every part of my trip. To me, it was such a transforming experience because of my faith. And being in the Holy Land for my birthday was really the best gift I can ever ask for my birthday. And even when I came back to Bulgaria, I was able to celebrate with my friends, which was even better. So I'm thankful that I was able to do my fair portion of traveling. In 2020, I was able to travel to Belgium for work, which was also great. So forward into quarantine and turning the whole world upside down. I want to share with you that I have been struggling with anxiety and panic attacks for almost 10 plus years, I would say. So you can imagine, and as if you have experienced that, or anyone who has experienced anxiety can relate, that any type of disease threat or isolation can be very, very scary to an anxious, hypochondriac kind of person. Now, I will probably do a separate video on me dealing with anxiety throughout the years, but I just want to say that this year was, I have never felt better in terms of the anxiety, and I'm so thankful that despite of being as isolated and bombarded with all the fearful messages and just seeing scary things happening all over the world. And again, going back to my faith, this was to show me that in partnership with God, you can really do the impossible. You can really stretch yourself and be strong and just dance around in situations that you would never thought you would be able to withstand. This was a highlight for me, and actually the episodes I had of anxiety this year were due to a toxic relationship, and I wouldn't recommend a toxic relationship to anyone, even to, you know, a person that doesn't deal with anxiety. I honestly made the best out of quarantine. I was quarantined with my roommate, so there was no places to go, no people to see, and I decided to take on and explore the safest places, which are the woods and the mountains. And I actually find myself a new hobby. I fell in love with hiking. Because I was born on the seaside, I was never really into mountains, but yeah, 2020 came, isolation came, and here I am. I found my new hobby. Right now, actually, every weekend I'm exploring different places. So for me, I just had the best quarantine ever. So what do I do for a living? I work for Coca-Cola. I have a corporate job that I quite love, and I have great colleagues, great managers. I have been with the company 8 years now, and I have been very satisfied and still continue to grow in it. However, I always like to work from home. And working from home before with my company, it was not that bad to ask about it, but still we were allowed 2 to 4 days per month. It was just not enough for me. So going into COVID pandemic, here we were. First we started off working a few days off, then weeks, then months, and it's happening until now. I mean, we're still working from home. And I have to tell you that for me, that was a dream come true. I have been able to focus even more and to be better at my job, and I have established such a good work-life balance that I'm able to do so many things that I love, because I have energy to focus on my hobbies. And it's so amazing, and that it makes me even more motivated in my job. So starting the home office thing was really something I have always desired in my life. I always wanted to have a remote job, but to have my dream job that I currently have as a corporate job, as remote job, was just best thing about 2020. One of the best things, probably. It's a lot of best things about it. It's also important to mention that throughout this time, I'm so thankful that God sustained me and I kept my job, my salary, and you know, there was a crisis. The crisis hit all of us. Working in Coca-Cola, our main businesses with restaurants, cafes, hotels. So you can imagine that closing off all of that, it has an impact on the business. And I'm really thankful that despite that, I was able to keep my job, to be even thriving as a professionalist in what I do. So I mentioned I started working fully remotely. I'm from the seaside. The place that I work, it's called Sofia. That's the capital of Bulgaria, where I'm from, and where I live. And Burgas is actually on the seaside, and this is my hometown. So during the summer, every weekend I was traveling to Burgas, like back and forth. It's like 400 kilometers in each direction, and I was traveling every weekend just to go to the beach. And this year I was like, okay, because I bought myself a new car, and then I was doing the driving, and I was like, will I have time? Will I have the strength to do you know, travel every weekend by myself, to drive there every week? Wouldn't that like drain me? Will I be able to focus on my job and just travel? And this is why, guys, it's so important not to think about something and just be anxious about stuff in advance, because you never know what's going to happen, and most of the times we're just worried about stuff that won't even happen. And that was the case with me when the summer started. I was actually able to work remotely. So for 5 months I was not traveling at all, meaning that I stayed at my hometown for 5 months, and I had like the best summer ever. and I went to the beach. I reconnected with friends, and it was just such a breath of fresh air. And I never ever dreamed that it would turn out like that. And yeah, 2020, God brought that to me. I'm so happy. In terms of health, I have always been very cautious in taking good care of myself, eating organic, being out in the sunshine, working out, taking care of my spirit, because this is a great part of your health. And in combination with, I believe, God's sovereign protection and supernatural protection, I would say, I experienced very, very good health during this year. I actually think I got COVID back in February, before going to Israel, because I tested for antibodies recently, and I did have them, which was again another positive for me, because this is, who would have thought things would turn out this way, that you'll be happy about having antibodies about something. I mean, I'm very thankful that I was able to fight it off without serious medications, because I'm well aware that the virus can be very, very dangerous. I personally have a friend that works in a COVID department in a hospital, so I know that it can get really tough, and I know some people can be impacted in a bad way. I'm not belittling the virus in any way, even though, to be honest with you, at the beginning I was. And I remember talking to a friend, and I was like, I mean, that whole thing is in China. How would you think that there will be, that will come to our country? And here we are. Now, did I get my heart broken in 2020? Yes, I did. Did I get lied to multiple times? I did. Did my friendships experience issues? Yes, they did. Did I have challenges at work? I'm a manager and I have a team of 3 people, and actually one of them had to go to another team. She was promoted, and then I was left with 2 people from March until now, and that was a very, very hard experience for me. So I can go out and just start being sorry for myself. Oh, I'm single again, I'm soon going to be 32. When you're going to complain, when you want to find something that went wrong, when something could have been better, you will always, always find something. Because the truth is that we all go through struggles, even though the magnitude of those can be different for different people. So my point is, even though I had hard times, I refuse to focus on those. And I'm looking straight up into what I can do better in 2021, how I can invest in myself, in relationships, and people that are worth it. So make sure you're not wasting your time investing in things or people who are not going to appreciate you. You cannot get your time back. At the end, to wrap it up, it's worth to mention that I was in a continuous prayer and leaning on God and listening to Him more than I have been ever in my life. And I absolutely believe that this has contributed to me having the best year of my life. And I guess that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below how was your 2020 and what are the positives you have seen, and what are the things that, the ways you have grown. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.